autonomous language learning in distance education, and we invited Professor Rima Al-Jarf from Saudi Arabia. So, Rima, you can start.
Okay, just give me a minute. I don't know, the screen disappeared.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah, but I cannot, okay. Okay, so Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome for our webinar today. Today I'm going to talk about autonomous language learning in distance education. Now, can you turn your microphone off, please? Now, what is autonomy? When we say autonomy or autonomous learning, it simply means learning on your own. Why do we need to be autonomous learners? Simply because the university does not teach us everything. That's why we have to learn on our own. Whatever we learn in college will be obsolete in a few years. Obsolete means old. We need to continue to learn on our own for the rest of our life. We need to update our knowledge all the time, no matter what our specialty is. When we learn autonomously, we will learn better, enjoy studying, satisfy our needs, will be less bored, and will be more engaged in learning. We need to learn autonomously in order to learn and acquire new skills and knowledge, and to be able to solve personal problems. Now, what do we need for autonomous learning? We simply need three things. We need goals, we need a study schedule, and we need study skills. Now, what are goals? Why do we need to set goals? Come on, what happened to it? Oh my God. Setting goals give us long-term. How about this screen? It keeps popping in. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Now this one, the upper screen, can I put it, just this, put it down? Okay. Okay, so setting goals gives us long-term vision and short-term motivation. It focuses our acquisition of knowledge and helps us to organize our time and resources so that we can make the most out of our life. There are 4 types of goals: short-term goals, long-term goals, lifetime goals, and stepping stone goals. Stepping stone goals, these are goals that are important for going to the next stage, such as getting your BA degree or passing the TOEFL. If you don't pass the TOEFL, you don't pass the GRE, you cannot go to graduate school. So we call them stepping stone goals. Lifetime goals, what do we mean by those? These are goals that show what we want to do with our life. They can be career goals, financial, educational, family, religion, artistic, physical, pleasure, public service goals. For example, a lifetime goal can be, I want to be a university professor. I want to start my own business or company or restaurant. I want to be a preacher. I want to become an artist and have my own art exhibits, and so on. Goals can be set for any period of time. There are 5-year, we can set goals for 5 years, for 1 year, for 6 months, for 1 month, for 1 week, and divide those into smaller goals. Small goals can be, for example, I want to read this book and finish it. I want to write a paper. I want to give a presentation, conference presentation. Okay, now we come to the next thing, that we need to be autonomous learners. We need to manage our time. We need to have a study schedule, a schedule. There are 3 types of schedules. The first schedule is a 1-year schedule, like this one. This you can download from Google. You go to Google Images, type year, for example, 2020, and then you will get pictures of different kinds of calendars like this one. Here what you do, you circle certain dates that show holidays, final exams, if you have a festival, if you, for example, you have conferences. So you circle the days in which you are having major activities, major tasks. Then you need a monthly calendar or schedule. If your semester or academic year is divided into 2 semesters, and each semester is 4 months, then you need like 4 monthly calendars. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Can you please shut off your microphone? Because there is noise. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Okay, for example, now we are in November, and then the semester will you don't need to say, please, all these are distractions. La ilaha illallah.
Bugün Zoom'da dersimiz var Adike.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Okay, la ilaha illallah. So are you gonna continue with these noises? How can I lecture and how can you listen to me? If you're making noises, please turn your microphone off. Okay, so if your semester is 4 months, you should have a calendar for each month. And monthly calendars can be downloaded from Google. You just type in November 2020 calendar. Go to Google Images and you will get many of those. So you can print 1 page for each month. Now on the monthly calendar, you record with a pencil, not pen, a pencil, so that you erase it if you make a mistake. You can mark major activities that you're having. Holidays, exams, if you have a deadline for a paper, if you have to give a presentation, if you're going on a tour, for example, with your school, if you're having a festival for 2 days, you can, or you're having a party, you're having a meeting, so you can put all of those on the monthly calendar. Now, here I copied a calendar, a monthly calendar for November and December. Okay, now to make the best use of our time, we need to analyze our current use of time. We need to see how, in reality, how we are using our time. What are we spending our time doing? Okay, you need a schedule like this, and you can make this schedule yourself using Microsoft Word. You can draw a table with 8 columns and then rows. Now, horizontally like this, we have the days of the week, 1 column for each day, and then vertically from top to bottom, you have time slots, and each time slot is 1 hour. You start with the time when you wake up. Suppose you wake up at 6 o'clock, so you start with 6 o'clock, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, until the time you go to bed. Let's assume that you go to bed at midnight, 11 to 12. Here, because the computer screen is not long enough, I was able to only reach 7 to 8. But if you use an A4 paper, you will be able to have time slots until 11 to 12 or 12 to 1. Okay, so what you do, you have to write down in the cells here what you do between 6 and 7 in the morning. Suppose you wake up, you wash, you put your clothes on, you have breakfast. 7 to 8, what you do? Maybe what you do from 6 to 7 or 7 to 8 is different. It's not the same throughout the weekdays. So you can make exceptions. For example, from 7 to 8, you go to the university on Monday, Tuesday, but on Wednesday you don't have classes, so you don't go. So you leave it blank. On Sunday, your schedule is different. So you don't go to the university, you don't commute, you don't take the bus or drive your car. And then 8 to 9, 9 to 10, suppose here you have your classes, the courses you're taken at the university, because these are fixed, so you enter your class schedule. For example, from 8 to 9 until 9 to 10, 8, 9, 9, 10, because you have 2 hours of the same course, back to back. So you can say grammar, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, grammar. On Tuesday, maybe writing. On Wednesday, maybe reading. Thursday, maybe teaching methodology. I don't know what kind of courses you take and what your schedule looks like. 10 to 11, 11 to 12, the same thing. You write down the courses that you take on Monday, Tuesday. Suppose you have a free hour or 2 free hours, so you leave those blanks. Then 12 to 1, maybe this is your lunch hour. So you say lunch. But Sunday is different because you are at home. It's a holiday, it's the weekend. And then when you finish, what time you go home? And then when you go home, what do you do usually in the afternoon? Do you cook? Do you clean? Do you go grocery shopping? Of course, you don't go grocery shopping every day. Suppose you go grocery shopping on Saturday for 2 hours. So you you write down shopping. And then at night, when you have dinner, If you watch TV, when you watch TV, if you do homework, if you study, if you work on your paper or on your presentation, when and how many hours. So this is what you do. And then when you finish, you look at the schedule and you will see what you do with your time. If you have blank slots, this means you have free time. And this would be your actual use of time. Okay, next, we need the same weekly schedule. And this weekly schedule, when you make it using Microsoft Word, you need to print, for example, if there are 14 weeks in the semester, you need to print or photocopy and make 14 copies. One schedule, one copy for each week. So here, before you print, you enter your class schedule in the first part of the day because this is fixed by the department. And then the differences will be when you are at home, what you do when you are at home. So you can fill in your schedule with whatever you want. When you want to study, where if you want to cut down on watching TV, instead of 3 hours, you want to watch TV, half an hour, browse the internet, social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, all of these things. Instead of spending 3, 4, 5 hours working on those, you can cut down the time and then browse once a day instead of 20 times a day. On Sunday, your schedule might be different because you may sleep longer, then take your breakfast 9 to 10, then you go to the gym, you meet with your friends, you have a party, you visit your grandmother. So you fill it with the kinds of activities and from what time to what time. If you do not record, write down what you want to do, you will not achieve much. Writing things down makes a lot of difference in achievement, because we forget. We cannot remember everything. All the tasks, all the assignments that we're having, the exams, the activities, the conferences, and the exact dates, and so on. Okay, then we need to have a to-do list. And this is for each day. My tasks, for example, for today are not the same as my tasks tomorrow. Today I'm having a presentation, a webinar. Tomorrow I don't have a webinar. Tomorrow I go visit let's say my uncle. Today I'm not gonna visit my uncle. For example, over the weekend, my sister is gonna visit me. Then let's say Wednesday, Thursday, I need to go grocery shopping, clean my apartment, get ready for her. So you need to have one like this. And also you can make it yourself using Microsoft Word. And you just draw a table. And the same thing, start with the time you wake up, and then the last slot should be the time when you go to bed. And then here, like the night before, let's say today at night, I fill out the to-do list for tomorrow. What things do I have? Whereas here, the weekly schedule, when you fill your weekly schedule, you fill it at the beginning of the week. For example, on Sunday at night, you sit down and you fill, especially the part in the afternoon, once you go home, once you finish your college courses. And then you go home in the second part of the day, So you jot down, you write down the things, the tasks that you have to do or you want to do. Okay, now when we have tasks, the tasks are not all very important. The tasks can be important, they can be urgent, or can be unimportant and can be urgent. Prioritize is a verb from priority. We don't work on all types of tasks at the same time or in the same order. Tasks can be classified into 4 types in terms of importance and urgency. Urgency, if something is urgent, it means you have to do it right away, as soon as possible. So we have 4 levels of tasks that are important and urgent, such as, for example, when I fell and broke my foot. It was important that minute that I go to the hospital, leave everything. Even if I had a presentation or a conference or I had to leave everything, go to the hospital. So going to the hospital, seeing the doctor was important and urgent because my foot was swollen and it was very painful. The task can be important but not urgent. For example, suppose you have to submit a term paper, but after a month. So the term paper is important, but it's not urgent because you have 4 weeks to work on the paper. It's not urgent. You don't have to do it right now. Also, the task can be not important but urgent, like when somebody calls you, your colleague. So maybe she wants to chat, she wants to tell you something because she's your colleague, your friend. You have to answer the phone. So the call is not important, but it's urgent. You have to answer it. La ilaha illallah. Rja'na. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. The task can be not important and not urgent, such as watching TV or checking Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Telegram and WhatsApp and all of those. Okay, now we come to study skills. Now, there are several study skills that you need to acquire in order to be able to work autonomously, to learn on your own, especially in the distance learning environment. The first one is you should know how to search for information, what search terms to use. You can enter the search terms in Google, YouTube, Google Play, if you want mobile apps or App Store. And then when you get results, you browse through them and select the relevant ones. You evaluate the results. For example, you have a paper about theories of learning or foreign language teaching methodology. So you can enter in Google foreign language teaching methods or learning theories or second language acquisition or first language acquisition. And you will get too many websites. If you want lectures about these topics, you can enter the search term, the phrase in YouTube. Okay, since now everybody is studying online, what you need to do, because we never studied online before, and people maybe they want to use Zoom or Microsoft Teams or WebEx. So what you have to do, you have to download the platform, you have to open the platform and also get to know the different tools of the platform, use them how to share the screen, how to write a comment in the chat, how to turn the microphone on and off and video on and off. It's very important when you study online to be mentally and psychologically prepared for the online lecture. Do not log in late, like today. We logged in late. We started late, and Zoom was telling me, oh, you have 40 minutes because you scheduled the lecture for 45 minutes only. So because we started late, I will not be able to finish the whole lecture. Zoom will stop. So it's important to log into the platform early or on time in case there is a problem like the one we had today. Technical problems, we can fix it before we start so that we don't waste valuable lecture time fixing technical problems. We should be on time even when we study face-to-face, whether we are teachers or students. Some students, they come to class late. It's not because they had an emergency or a problem. It is because it's a habit. They don't feel it's important. They would go to a party early, but they would not come to class early or on time. It's important because if you miss 5 minutes, you come and sit, you will be lost. You will not be able to understand what the teacher is saying because you missed the first part. Okay, another skill is listening. How can you develop your listening skills on your own? We're talking about autonomous learning. You can search YouTube for videos related to the course you are studying. If you have problems, you don't understand anything, you go to YouTube and you just type in theories of learning or constructivism or Gestalt theory, and Google will give you lectures about those topics. Before you decide which video you want to watch, you need to pay attention to the video length, speed of the speaker, and the accent also, because some accents are difficult for students to understand than others. Before you start watching, you need to ask yourself questions about the lecture, like what are the learning theories, how many, what are their characteristics, the differences, how can we apply them? Questions like these before watching the video. And then while watching the video, take notes. And then after watching the video, try to write a summary of the main points, either a summary or an outline of the main points that you have heard in the video. After you finish, try to talk about the information that you heard in the video orally, either to yourself or to a friend. Now, how to read. This is a very important skill. Before you start studying the material, you should ask yourself, what does my teacher want me to learn? What things does my teacher consider important? And things my teacher consider unimportant or less important? What am I going to benefit from the material? Okay, we're going to study teaching methodologies, translation method. What am I going to benefit from these teaching methodologies or from theories of learning? Are they important? Is this topic why can't you turn off their microphone so that I don't hear water and ice and all of these noises? Another question. Is this topic related to the whole curriculum? If I am studying a course on research methodology or teaching methodology, and this chapter is about theories of learning. So, how is it connected to the curriculum? How is it connected to what I have already studied in the other courses? What do I know about the topic, about learning theories, about teaching methods, about second language acquisition? Okay, and then what are the major points of the material? And which part is difficult for me? Then what you do first, we don't read once. We don't read every single word in the chapter, in the textbook. We read several times and we read in different ways, depending on the difficulty level of the material.